Hi, today we discuss about the quasi contracts. Quasi contracts are defined to be the lawful and purely voluntary act of a man from which there result any obligation whatever the third person and sometimes is the reciprocal obligation between the parties. It is not legitimately done, but the norms are accepted the followed as if there is a legitimate contract. A quasi contract is a contract that exists by the order by the court out or by the not by agreement of the parties. Court create quasi contracts to avoid the unjust enrichment of a party in a dispute over payment for a good or service. In some cases, a party who has suffered a loss in a business relationship may not be able to recover for the loss without evidence of a contract or some legally recognized agreement. To avoid this unjust result, court create the Flustius agreement where no legally enforceable agreement exists. For example, X supplies the goods to his customer. Y who receives and consumes them. Y is found to pay the price. Y is acceptance of the goods constitutes an implied promises to pay. The kind of contract is called the tacit contract. In the very illustration, if the goods are delivered by the servant of X to Y, mistaking Z for Y, then Z will be found to pay compensation to X for that value. Futures of the quasi contract. There are many silent futures included in the quasi contract. It is imposed by law and does not arise from any agreement. Second one is a duty of a party and not the promise of any party is the basis of such contract. The third one is the right under it is always a right to money and generally though not always to a liquidated sum of money. Then fourth one is a right under it is available against specific persons and not against the world. Then fifth one is a suit for its breach by be filled in the same way as in case of a complete contract. Difference between the contract and quasi contract. For purpose, what is the purpose of contract? A contract result from the will of the parties expressed with a view to create an obligations. Quasi contract is an obligation resembling that created by the contract. The essential for the formation of the valid contract and present. In quasi contract, essential for the formation of a valid contract are absent. In contract is an based on agreement. That is every contract based on the agreement. But quasi contract there is no agreement at all. Then a contract full pledged contract and is binding. Here a quasi contract resembles a contract. It is not full pledged contract. It is an implied contract, but it resemble those created by the contract. In contract, obligation is created by the consent of the parties. It is a X is offering the goods to Y person, so the Y is accepting the particular offer. After the agreement that is enforceable by law, it is called as contract. That is agreement and enforceable by law both included in the contract, but it is the quasi contract. Obligation is imposed by law. That is the difference between the contract and the quasi contract. It is based on the purpose oriented, it is based on the agreement oriented, it is based on the nature and based on the obligations. based so these are all the difference between the contract and quasi contract. Thank you.